So there's an interesting article this week asking, is Peloton the new religion?
Yeah. And I thought it was kind of fascinating because it talks about, so this is coming from a Presbyterian website. It's called the Presbyterian Outlook.
Okay.
And it says, pedaling to spiritual fitness, how Peloton and boutique studios fill the void of modern religion. And so it's interesting because they're saying that it goes beyond the physical training, but you get this community, meaning, and transformation.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've said that kind of since the beginning. That's why people call it a cult.
Right. I know you're saying that, like, oh, it's not the normal cult talk, but like...
But it kind of is.
It kind of is, but I don't think people necessarily connect the two, that it is sort of checking that box for a lot of people, even if they don't realize it.
It is. I mean, how many times have you said, it's really funny how so many people tried to be at home and get away from people by buying the bike, and then actually have a much wider community because of their Peloton equipment. And it's so true. I mean, this podcast is a great example of that because, I mean, I feel like at this point, we know people all over the world. Like, it doesn't matter what state or city we go to, we could find people who have a common interest. And that's pretty darn cool. That's the power of the Peloton community.
I mean, we've ran into listeners in Hawaii and Alaska and little towns in Alabama. Like, it's everywhere.
Where were we in Washington, D.C.? We were at we were at the show, and that guy came up to us, and he had started a podcast.
Yeah.
Because of our podcast. Right. And had nothing to do with Peloton. But
and he didn't steal our podcast. So thank you for that, sir.
He actually had an original idea.
Yeah, how about that? Hat tip to you, kind sir. But yeah, so I mean, I definitely think that it does fill that. I mean, for a long time, that church was community.
Absolutely.
And as people, for good or ill, depending on your take, have moved away from religion, they still crave that sense of connection.
Absolutely.
And this is providing it.
It is, yeah. And I think a lot of people, that's why some people find that using Peloton just doesn't quite do it for them. They need to be in person. That is, I am not one of those people, but I understand the people that are. They're the kind of people that just like, they can't have a conversation and connect with somebody in the same way over the internet that I can. But I'm grateful that we have so many different options for both. But I get the person's point, and I understand where they're coming from. But I don't know. I just thought it was kind of weird in that they were literally comparing it to a flat out religion. Yeah, I just found it fascinating.
And it doesn't have to be either or.
It's very true.
You can do both. It's okay.
Absolutely. I hope that you do whatever makes you happy.